one thing I didn't address is if you have an acoustic bass, for instance, if a lot of guys, like a lot of times when you're first buying your first instrument, you buy an acoustic instrument, right? So if we have an acoustic bass and we don't have a pickup on it, what do? Well, you got a couple options. Now this bass is semi-acoustic, but it still has the pickup inside, which I'm using right now to anchor my thumb on. If it didn't have the pickup, one thing I can do is I use a ramp, which is a device that keeps your hand in a proper position. But not everybody wants to use the ramp. And a ramp is just a block of wood that's radiused. It's made to shape to fit underneath the strings perfectly to keep your hand in a proper position. Now, it's just a piece of wood and with double-sided tape. It doesn't make or break your playing. You don't really need it, but some guys like it. Now, if I had an instrument, for instance, that had neither of these, what you can do is once you're on the strings, once the pickup is, gone and you're playing here, what you can do is you can anchor on your E string on an acoustic bass, right? Now, what I mean by acoustic is acoustic bass guitar, not the double bass. That's a whole different thing. But on the acoustic bass guitar, what you might do is you're going to anchor on your E string. You're going to use your E string kind of like your pickup. You're just going to move across and bridge back and forth from the E. Now, that seems like a really good idea, and it is, and it works great, especially when you just want to make a sound. You want to make a good sound. Now, what happens when you come to the E string? Well, you have two options. You can either come up and anchor your thumb, kind of press it into the body of the instrument like this. Can you see how I'm doing that? I'm kind of like resting on this little bit of the body right here. Now, you could do that, or what you could do is, I've seen this done, and it's doable, is that you can move your thumb onto the fingerboard. See how there's a little edge on the fingerboard? If you put your finger there like you did on your pickup, see that? Good. My thumb is just anchored right there. Now, I can reach across with it, right? And I can come back. Now, in the beginning, when you're trying to play an acoustic bass, because you're dealing with the bigger body, and it's a great instrument, and they're wonderful to have, but you have to deal with where your thumb is going to go. And my recommendation is either the E string or the end of the fingerboard. So that's with the end of the fingerboard. On the body, my thumb just slides into position. Now, not everybody owns an acoustic bass guitar, but at some point you might own one, so you might come across that anyway, and that's just something to think about. Now, with the right hand, moving back to the concept that I have a pickup, right? And probably you do too. You have at least one. Now, there are other options with this right hand. Now, the right hand, like I said, the right hand is your drive, Not everybody plays with these two fingers. We have some other options. In the beginning, these two fingers are great. They're going to get you through everything. Like we said, Jamerson used one finger. I believe, McCartney uses one finger. But there are other guys who play out there using some different techniques. Not everybody. There's some jazz guys out there that like Montgomery, and if you know Wes Montgomery was a guitar player, but he used his thumb a lot. Sting is another guy who uses his thumb a lot when he plays. If you have an old jazz bass, or you have a bass that looks like a jazz bass, and you have a thumb rest on one side and you have this other bar on the other side, and you're not quite sure what it's for, right? It seems a little weird. It's like, why would you put that bar right there? It's like, doesn't make any sense. Am I going to play it lefty? No, that was actually set there so that you could play using your thumb to play with, because the thumb has a different sound than these two fingers do. If you listen to my thumb, that's my thumb on the A string. Now what I'm doing there is I can actually, if you want to use your pickup, you can anchor your fingers to the bottom side of the pickup. Now this is a technique to be used as an option with the two fingers. It gives you a different sound. It's a deeper, warmer sound. And it's very nice for when you hear as opposed to it's a little bit warmer because there's a little bit more mass to the thumb. It's a little bit shorter.